Ladies and gentlemen, you better get used to Daniel's answer to every single question is that it's all the fault of the economy and it was Labour's fault for destroying it, which is patently untrue. If you've had 7 years, Daniel, your government is in power for 7 years. If the economy is improving so much, why aren't people feeling it? You always seem to say that savage cuts in funding are the result of a need for austerity. But, I mean, post-World War II, when the country was on its knees and the economy was worse than ever and we were in enormous debt, the government founded the NHS. Everybody knows that the way to grow an economy, the way to reduce the deficit through economic growth is by sensible investment in public services. Could be a better investment or a better area to invest in than our children's futures. Secondly, you're implying that the NUT are destroying teachers' morale. I think I can think of some other reason why teachers' morale is so low. The people sitting in front of you aren't some kind of red-under-the-bed militants. They're highly educated professionals who are seeing at first hand the impact of your government's policies, which I must underline, for 5 years were aided and abetted by the Liberal Democrats.
Last time you fought this seat, it was under a very, very different leader. Now,
yes,
under what you would call classic socialism. Are you on board with that, on Corbyn and his different way of running the party?
I don't think it's appropriate to sort of criticise Jeremy Corbyn as if, again, he's some sort of, modern-day communist. That is clearly not the case. Our manifesto, which was unveiled on Tuesday, is fully costed. It's sensible. There are evidence-based plans, but Jeremy Corbyn and the rest of the Labour Party know that, as I said, the way to grow an economy, the way to reduce the deficit, is to invest properly in public services. There is such a gap at the moment. There is such a gap at the moment between the wealthier in society and the poorest, and that's something that must be redressed. And it's really important not to get personal as well. Don't fall for the spin. Don't fall for the slight scruffiness. He may not wear a tie, but he wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think that is more important. Labour have got a clearly costed manifesto. And again, like I said, the establishment of a national education service will set minimum standards and teaching assistants will be able to continue with their valuable role. Without teaching assistants, like I said, SEND students will lose their one-to-one care. Pastoral care is lost. It's known that girls in particular, around the age of 14, their self-esteem plummets. That leaves them vulnerable to online bullying, sexual exploitation. I mean, I don't know how many of you saw that really disturbing dramatisation about the Rochdale grooming scandal, which made for really uncomfortable watching, but it was obvious where the interventions could have been made in order to prevent that from happening. You've got kids that aren't able to talk to people, and yet, I mean, my son adores his teaching assistant, and she is brilliant in the classroom, and she's a real asset to his learning, an asset to the whole class's learning, and without them, learning will suffer. Kids will not get the individual attention that they need, and again, they have a role in supporting students with mental health problems and identifying students that need to be, alerting social services. While everything is strict, while class sizes are increasing and staff are decreasing, the opportunities for identifying children who need extra support and then giving them that extra support are squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. And that's something that Labour is committed to reversing.
Hannah Fraser.
In terms of assessment at primary school, there is absolutely no reason why a process of continuous assessment can't be carried out. And that's a good way of ensuring that kids get the help they need earlier if they're starting to fall behind, rather than only realising they're falling behind when they don't get the right level in their SATs. That said, I don't want somebody's GCSEs to be the first time they've ever sat down and taken an exam, because clearly sitting down and taking an exam is an important life skill that you're going to have to do over and over again. So, SATs in secondary school, I think, are a very different issue to SATs in primary school. The performance of primary schools can also be evaluated in a different way. Dare I say the word Ofsted? While that is a system that needs a huge amount of reform, a kind of overseeing body to assess the quality of teaching and learning in that school is much, much better than a battery of tests and exams over and over again, which all it does is narrow the curriculum and mean that things like the arts subjects and creativity are squeezed out. I would much rather my child knows how to tell a story than they know the exact words of where to put a comma in the right place.
Okay. Hannah, one thing to add?
Yes, I do.
Laura, one sentence to add?
I just want to add as well, teaching assistants are appallingly badly paid as well.
Yeah.
As are teachers, as are employees across the public sector. Below inflation pay rises, which is essentially a pay cut that we have had for the last 10 years, has been absolutely shocking. And it's no wonder that vacancies remain unfilled, because you're better paid to work elsewhere, even though it's not such a rewarding job.